If you have spent weeks, months, or even years struggling with making progress while you're actually going on a regular basis to the gym, this is the right video for you. While most lifters fall into the trap doing more exercises, more sets, in general more volume, the real key of transformation is actually how you approach each set. There is a huge difference between just showing up to the gym and making a regular workout with the mainstream strategies 8, 12, 10 or 12, 10, 8 repetitions and specific approaches which lead you actually to significantly much more progress. Hey, my name is Matt David and I'm here to help you train smarter, push harder and build real strength without gimmicks or confusion. If you're ready what honestly works in gyms, then just get into that. So the first point is the real reason why people actually plateau, why they actually stop at a certain level and make no progress anymore. A lot of these old strategies are built on increasing your volume. While you're increasing your volume, it's not necessarily true that you actually make always more progress. The main factor here is intensity. If you make intensity high, if you increase your intensity, your volume can be even lower and you still will make much more progress. Not only in the long run, but also in the short term. It's not about making as many repetitions as possible with a certain weight. It's much more important to trigger your muscle growth. And how you trigger your muscle growth? Through stimulation. While volume is maybe better for burning fat, even not always that's the case, but intensity is definitely more important for muscle growth. While you can see the difference, there are people which are working out for years, going to the gym on a regular basis. Coming back to the first one, these people working out every day and making no progress basically. On the other hand, you see people going to the gym 6 months, 1 year, and you see significant progress. And it doesn't matter in the first place what age they are. In the first place, it matters how they approach every single training. If this first group is approaching their training with a certain amount of volume, like let's say they have their specific amount of sets and specific amount of repetitions, of course they will hit the plateau much faster and will stay consistently at this plateau, while the other group is always seeking for certain stimulations through more intensity, which comes in first way through more weight. Second, the approach, what also triggers intensity, is muscle failure. So the second group basically is working until it gets uncomfortable and over that. The first group is working until their program says. So if their program says they have to do 8 reps with this amount of weight, they will do this 8 reps and they will feel good after that. But there is this significant difference, which is the progress. In the very beginning, I was the exact type A. I was trying to do as much exercises as possible with a certain amount of reps. That's how I started. And of course, when I was like very thin guy, I was a very big lightweight, I would say that. So at that time, in my very beginning, I tried to do everything after a certain structure, after certain guidelines that were given to me. And of course, it was still working out to a certain point, but after a while, I realized that other people which were training differently and hitting more weights, going after more failure, and being actually more aggressive in the training, they made much more progress than I was. So I started to rethink that and I found out that I actually need to change my workout plan, need to change my routines and to change the stimulation on my muscles. If I want to increase, if I want to gain more muscles, if I want to make more progress. It's also very important to recognize that just because you feel tired after a workout doesn't necessarily mean that you stimulated your muscle growth. That's a very good one. Well, I was thinking the more tired I get, the more stimulation my body gets. Well, it was exactly the opposite, because I was sometimes staying in the gym for a long period of time just to do a bunch of different exercises because I thought volume equals muscle growth. That was completely nonsense. But hey, we all are learning, we all are figuring it out. Some are earlier, some are faster. Some people are knowing it from the very beginning because they have the right guidance. It was not the case for me. So we can also say that the genetics and supplements as well as nutrition, they all play a very important role in muscle growth. But intensity is the major factor that lets your muscle growth. As we know, the real results actually come from the sets that are the hardest, where we actually feel like we would break, or where we barely get the bar up, or we actually need help, or even negative sets with much weight which we cannot actively push, but we can passively work against the pressure and actually hold it with as much strength as possible from ourselves, holding against it and pushing. It might not be the positive press, let's say in a bench press, but the negative set with more weight, and you push all your energy against it while somebody is actually supporting you and making sure that the weight doesn't land on your chest or anywhere else. Just this negative set, this negative repetition is actually a very intensive stimulation. You can ask yourself, when was the last time actually you tried to push yourself to the limits? When was the last time you actually tried to push your limits to that point that you were basically thinking or feeling that your muscles cannot hold this pressure anymore, where you're just working out till the certain point that your workout routine schedule told you, where you're actually doing the 6 reps at the last set, or where you're going for this 7 or 8 rep with the same amount, even though 6 was on your max repetition amount. Number 2, what true failure really looks like. So in studies, failure isn't actual failure. It's not the failure what most of people understand as failure. Mostly it's even far away from that what actually real failure looks like. A good sign for a failure, or actually to say that you are not there yet, is when you can actually talk during the set, even when it's some words. That's not failure, even though your muscle might be aching, or you might feel sore, or you think it's getting harder. It's far away from failure. Also a very easy indicator for that you were definitely not that the failure is that you can tell that you might have done it harder, or that you could have done even more reps if you would like to, or if you would be just a little bit more aggressive in your workout. What I figured real failure for me looks like is when I can barely move while I'm already in the movement. That's how my failure looks like. When I have the weights on my weight belt and I make the dips, and all of a sudden in the movement it stucks, and I really fight for it each little inch, breathe with so much strength and effort that I get the last rep out of the movement, that I can finish the actual move. That is my last rep that I make. That's failure for me. And sometimes I don't even get this last rep in. That's nothing bad. You don't need that last rep to actually write it as done. To write that if that was the 7th repetition of the set, you can write 6, but you will know that you did more, and you will recognize it at your next workout, that you're gonna be stronger, and that you're gonna be able to move even more, or maybe you will even make 2 more reps than next time. Like I told you, it's not about the numbers, it's about the intensity. And it's very important to recognize that when we are able to take a rest, when we are able to hold the bar, I bring the example for bench press because I already started, and it's actually for most of y'all easy to recognize what I mean. When we have actually the time while we're lying on the bench, and it became so hard that we actually can hold the pressure, hold the weight, not on our chest or on our body, but a little bit flexed, and we can breathe and make a little rest, because we think that we have more power and we can get 2 or 3 more repetitions in. Is a sneaky way that we are making ourselves moving out of this intensity, and we're basically cutting off this intensity. Other than that, you could have done it differently. While you could have stopped at that point, you could increase the weight and go for another set. Another good point for intensity is when you actually make breaks, and you have your scheduled breaks after each set, you make 1 minute break. I recommend always, if you really want to do that, do it, but if you really want to make actual stronger and bigger progress, put the breaks aside, especially in your mind, and focus on the sets. You make one set, yes, you have enough time to put the weights down or adjust the weight, which will be definitely 30 seconds to 1 minute, which we can count as a little break, but then you go on the bench and press again. Instead of waiting or relaxing for another minute, looking at your Apple Watch and relaxing, it's not about that. If you're in the gym, it's important for you to go after what you want and you want progress. That means you want intensity. When you go after that and when you put these breaks aside in your mind, it goes even more focus into the sets, because you put this weight, you start the next set, and you know when you take breaks, when you really need it, before your last set maybe, where you need to breathe, where you need to get some air, some water, because you feel this soreness, you feel this pump, it's getting harder and stronger, and you repeat that. That's how you keep that intensity up. If you want to exercise intensity or actually frame your mind more towards intensity and improve that, you can start on machines. Starting with machines makes it easier because they are safer to handle. If you take compound exercises like deadlifts are in itself a very complex exercise, so it's always very important to do all exercises under very careful consideration of movement. But if you do some squats where you basically have all the weights on you, or you do bench press, these are very compound exercises where you should actually know your body better and the intensity your body can actually hold and handle. While machines, you're in a safer place, you have some support adjustments that you can use if it would be too heavy, the weight, and so it's much easier for your mind to actually recognize, okay, how we actually can build up this intensity connection in our mind. So also I want to warn you, if you do the machines, even if you decide to start learning that, you will feel through this intensity or this increased load that you put on yourself, you will see a huge difference also in form of muscle shaking. They might be shaking, of course, because you actually put much more effort into each rep that you actually do when you surpass your threshold, and you will see the difference that it will make while you will surpass your plateau. So the next point is lifts that let you actually progress. Well, you can very easily in the beginning, especially when you're not used to a lot of intensity, it's very important for you once to figure actually out how you build this intensity. That's why I recommend starting with machines, starting with things that you can actually easily cope with if the weight would be too hard. And at a certain point, you know, that it wouldn't fly on you or that you wouldn't hurt yourself. That's very important, and that's why machines are a good starting point. But if you want actual growth, if you really want actual progress and then overall masculine physique, you need to go to the basics. The basics are the most important things in building muscle, building endurance, building core strength, building stability, as well as your hormone level increases. For beginners though, if you're very in the early stage and you're still figuring out how to apply intensity to your workouts, to your routine, like I said, you would go to machines, and once you did some base machines like some chest press or other raises, pull exercises, you can go over through some more complex compound exercises, which are also machine based. Like for shoulders, you can actually use a standing lateral raise or standing shoulder press, which would be kind of machine while you would be actually standing. So you'd have to make sure that your core is always flexed, that is tight, not that you are slagging, that you're relaxed, because then you're harming yourself. And even though you would have the power, you will hurt your back and your spine. The main important point on intensity is that you can progressively overload it. You can make shorter breaks, you can make more weight, and you can actually add some supersets or drop sets into the exercises. Supersets in that sense that you make 2 exercises that are from the similar muscle group or from 2 muscle groups which are actually on your schedule. So let's say if I would have a workout plan, if I would have a push day, let's make it simple. If I would have a push day, I would work out shoulders, chest and triceps. And if I would decide that I want to increase the load, I could actually make a superset, which would be a chest press and a lateral raise. In the supersets, I could actually also do a triple set Mostly I do the triple sets as the last exercises. Sometimes I do just supersets, 2 exercises, 2 exercises, 2 exercises. And then I do the supersets. But if you want to increase, like from a regular routine, one strong increase, it's a superset. You do it whenever. You combine 2 muscle groups, or you do a triple set, and you would add, in my case that I just mentioned, you would add the triceps as the last exercise. So you would have a triple set starting with chest press, lateral raises, and the triceps exercise. That's how you can increase it. A drop set is when you go to the max amount. Your last set was the hardest set, and you made it till failure. Then you decrease it for 40%, around 30 to 40% less, and you do another set till failure. Then you reduce it again 30 to 40% of the current weight, and you do it till failure. Mostly after that you should be very, very overloaded. In that case, you can always make sure that you document everything. You have your routine? Yes, perfect. You write the last sets, the sets of failure, you document as good as possible. And then you will see at the next workout where your failure was. Then you will repeat again the workout till the failures. You will do the exercises where you will have very intense sets. You will have basically no breaks except you need them. You will force yourself to go beyond your threshold, beyond your plateau that you used to do, putting as much effort into that you can make as much that your body gives you, and you will see you will make significant progress. And when you work out so hard, it's also very important that you eat well, that you eat enough protein, that you eat enough carbohydrates. If you're on a regular diet, you don't necessarily need to overeat carbohydrates, but if you're actually building yourself up, more carbohydrates is definitely better than less carbohydrates. If you're on a keto diet, of course, no carbohydrates, but always keep your protein as good as possible, that you covered everything that you need, that you have get enough amino acids in your body, that your profile of amino acids is high, that you drink enough, that you sleep enough. You have to prioritize recovery in the best way possible. Less stress, focus on your workouts, and take care of yourself. So if you want to actually do progress, stop what the majority of people is doing. You do you, and you go over your threshold, you go over your boundaries, your borders, you break through, you go till failure and beyond. But always make sure that you never harm yourself and that you never risk anything without help. Make sure you do machines. Make sure you know your body better than anyone else. Because it's not only about the theories that I'm telling you. Like, my content is just educational content from my experience, what I would recommend to myself, but everything else is up to you. So decide wisely and make wise choices and be brutal in your workouts. Alright guys, if you like my content, just subscribe. I would be very glad. Click the notification bell and see you in the next video.